Dave Mustaine didn't just redefine thrash metal, he tore up the rule book and rewrote it in blood and symphony. As the visionary frontman of Megadeth, Mustaine has never been one to follow the path already laid before him. His career has been built on rebellion, raw talent, and a fearless fusion of classical influences with the aggressive edge of metal. He has always danced on the edge of convention. But his latest endeavor isn't played from a stage, it's poured into a glass. Welcome to the House of Mustaine, a bold, genre-defying venture that fuses music, culture, and fine wine into something the Mustaine family proudly calls music to your mouth. It's more than a brand, it's a living, breathing legacy. Nestled in the rolling hills of Tennessee, Dave and his creatively charged family opened their doors to us with warmth, candor, and a surprising look behind the curtain of their wine operation. We arrived expecting to talk riffs and rosé. What we didn't expect was the house itself, a masterpiece in every detail. It's the crown jewel of Pam Mustaine, who beamed as she said, "It's kind of my project when Dave is out touring." Dave, ever the jokester, quickly chimed in with a laugh, note to self, don't tour anymore. For the Mustaines, chaos isn't something to be tamed, it's the rhythm they thrive on. We don't do nothing very well, Dave quipped. We need that constant rhythm. And it's this very rhythm that pulses through every bottle they produce. The House of Mustaine is far more than a catchy name. It's a fully realized, family-run operation where a passion for music and wine blend into something entirely unique. This journey began over a decade ago when Dave, fascinated by the interplay between classical music and metal, performed a symphonic concert in San Diego in 2012. A self-taught musician, he relished the challenge of interpreting Vivaldi, Bach, and Wagner. But one question lingered: how could he bridge the cultural divide between symphony subscribers and metalheads? Beer and whiskey weren't the answer. Wine, however, felt like the right note. Living in wine country, the idea took root. A visit to a local vineyard, despite Dave's personal aversion to alcohol, changed everything. "I don't like the taste of booze," he admitted. But this was different. Their first batch sold out in 24 hours, crashing their website and proving there was an audience hungry for their bold blend of rock and refinement. At the time, daughter Elektra was focused on her music career. But what began as a small assist quickly became something more. "I fell in love with it accidentally," she said. "You couldn't ask me to do anything else." Today, Elektra Mustaine serves as the vice president of the company and is a certified sommelier, once among the youngest in the country. Her rise in the world of wine has been as passionate as it is impressive. Behind the scenes, Pam Mustaine remains the quiet strength holding everything together. "They are the entertainers," Pam said of Dave and Elektra, "and that works for us." Even their son, Justice, plays a vital role in the family venture. While managing his own creative projects, he also steps in to handle everything from logistics to branding. His wife lends a hand as well, making the House of Mustaine a truly full family affair. "We all contribute," Dave said. "It's what makes this work." But for the Mustaines, the wine is more than just a product, it's a liquid extension of their identity. Elektra designs many of the labels herself, often drawing from Megadeth song titles and visual themes. Justice focuses on understanding their fan base and market appeal. Together with Pam's careful oversight, they've created something that, on paper, shouldn't work, the fusion of heavy metal and fine wine. And yet, it does, beautifully. One standout in their collection is a sparkling red from San Gianni's, a protected DOC zone in Italy. Traditionally, sparkling reds didn't appeal to Elektra, but this one stole her heart. I even asked, "Can we name this Elektra? Because if I could be a wine, I'd want to be this one." The vintage is as rare as it is captivating, only 27 acres of grapes in the world can produce it. The winemaking process itself is an art form, half of the grapes are harvested early, while the other half is left to raisin on the vine, concentrating sweetness and complexity. The result is a semi-sweet wine layered with nuance and flavor. All of the Mustaine family's Italian wines are organic, sustainably produced, and rooted in centuries-old traditions, some dating back over 1,000 years. Their vineyard in Le Marche, along Italy's eastern coast, is more than just fertile land, It's a living relic, over 1,200 years old and once cultivated by Benedictine monks. The Mustaines now carry that ancient torch, vowing to preserve the land's natural beauty and spiritual legacy. They even took an oath, in Italian, to honor the vineyard's origins. In keeping with that commitment, every fourth row of vines is left unharvested to support local wildlife, reflecting their deep dedication to sustainability. During our visit, we were shown centuries-old, monk-preserved books and experienced the vineyard's spiritual gravity firsthand. The sense of history is palpable. And the journey doesn't stop there. The Mustaines are now expanding, having recently acquired a cliffside property in a blue zone, an area known for its remarkably high population of centenarians. Here, they are planting new varietals like Montepulciano and Pecorino, and building a state-of-the-art winery designed to offer immersive guest experiences, vineyard tours, and wellness retreats. But the land had one final surprise in store. Shortly after the purchase, an excavation revealed an Etruscan tomb dating back to 700 BC. The site was immediately declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a fitting twist in a story already rich with history, legacy, and the Mustaines' unwavering passion for crafting something timeless. Fortunately, the Mustaines had already closed on the land before the archaeological discovery. Now, they don't just own a vineyard, they are stewards of ancient history. For the time being, their wines are available exclusively through their members-only wine club, a tight-knit community of fans and connoisseurs. There are no fees, just a shared journey through flavor, story, and legacy. Select wines are also available via their website and at partner restaurants in Nashville. As Elektra said during a recent tasting event, this isn't just wine, it's who we are. Thrash metal might conjure images of headbangers and chaos, not fine wine and curated global travel. But that's exactly the unexpected world Dave Mustaine and his family are building, one bottle, one story, one unforgettable experience at a time. Today, the House of Mustaine offers around 10 carefully curated varietals, each deeply rooted in the family's story. Many of the wines are named after classic Megadeth songs or albums, paying homage to the band's gritty origins. Elektra, now vice president of the brand, hasn't released a wine bearing her name yet, but she's developing a future collection that will reflect the unique personality of each family member. And the fans? They've shown up in full force. From loyal metalheads to sophisticated sommeliers, a surprising number of Megadeth followers have joined the wine club, traveling from all over to attend events, tastings, and to share their own stories. A true community is taking shape, fueled by creativity, passion, and an unexpected love for wine. Pushing the envelope even further, the Mustaine family has launched immersive travel experiences, bucket list adventures that mirror the bold, unconventional life they've lived on tour. From hosting an elegant murder mystery aboard London's historic Bellman train to walking alongside elephants in a peaceful Thai sanctuary, these aren't your average vacations. They are curated expressions of the Mustaine lifestyle. Every detail is orchestrated by their in-house wine club concierge, blending travel, music, and wine culture into seamless, unforgettable experiences. Though they aren't generational winemakers by birth, decades of touring the globe and crafting stories have given them a unique foundation to reimagine what wine culture can be. The idea that Megadeth fans only crave beer and headbanging. A complete misconception. One of the most surprising and rewarding revelations for the family has been discovering just how curious and adventurous their audience truly is, open to new flavors, stories, and experiences far beyond the expectations of thrash metal tradition. What continues to surprise the Mustaine family is just how open-minded and diverse their audience really is. Dave recalls one event where a neonatal cardiologist approached him and casually said, "I listened to Megadeth while performing surgery on babies in the womb." Dave, half stunned and half amused, responded, "Not if you're operating on my kid, you're not." The moment was eye-opening. It revealed just how far-reaching and unexpected Megadeth's fan base had become. Among the growing collection of House of Mustaine wines, one of Dave's personal favorites is a bold Shiraz named Blood of Heroes, a 2017 vintage and the very first bottle they ever released. Since then, the cellar has expanded to include a range of standout varietals with names as fierce and poetic as the music itself: Ellen Fields, Tushy Wolves, Wanderlust, Pecorino, Tempranillo Rosé, Beast Cells, Holy War, and Almost Honest. Each bottle isn't just a drink, it's a testament to the family's artistry, resilience, and deep-rooted passion. That passion isn't confined to the polished aesthetics of a wine label. Last year, the Mustaines took things back to basics, old-school style, by importing 2 traditional Italian Garbolato barrels and stomping grapes with their bare feet, a la I Love Lucy. They laughed, slipped, and got mildly high on the natural fermentation gases. "I came out feeling drugged," Dave joked. "That stuff's potent." But they wouldn't have it any other way. Years of horseback riding and hands-on living have instilled in them a work ethic that's as physical as it is emotional. That same grit built their wine empire, and also their love story. Dave first spotted Pam across a venue during a night out with the band. "Go tell that girl I want to meet her," he told a friend. Her response? "Classic Pam, if he wants to meet me, he can come over himself." Intrigued by her confidence, Dave walked right up and introduced himself. "I know who you are," she said coolly. He wasn't sure if that was a good thing or not, but he took his shot, inviting her to lunch. Something clicked. Within 6 months, they were married. One of the most unforgettable moments in their relationship came years later in Hawaii. Dave surprised Pam with a diamond ring and a proposal at the base of Diamond Head. "What are you doing Thursday?" he asked with a grin, dropping to one knee. Before she could say a word, her entire family, grandmother included, had been secretly flown in for the occasion. "That was 33 years ago," Dave said. "And we've seen every season of life together." Fast forward to today, and Dave Mustaine shows no signs of slowing down. Megadeth just wrapped up a world tour, the most enjoyable one yet, according to him. They've recently partnered with a new branding team that now handles everything from the music to the wine, aligning the legacy of Megadeth with the evolving identity of House of Mustaine. The journey is still unfolding, and the family remains at the helm, pouring their story into every bottle, every riff, every step forward. Amidst all the family projects and the momentum of House of Mustaine, Dave remains creatively unstoppable, currently working on his 17th studio album. Over the course of his legendary career, he's written more than 200 songs, enough, he jokes, to name wine bottles for generations. And yes, his daughter Electra's name is still very much on his mind. Eventually, every family member will have their own signature wine, each inspired by a Megadeth track that captures their unique personality. Interestingly, many of those wine names are conceived not in the vineyard but in the recording studio. "It's kind of backward," Dave admitted. "When we're working on a new album, we're also thinking about which song titles might work for wine labels, ones that can actually pass legal label requirements. That's no small task. Every bottle name must be approved by the Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau, TTB, the government agency responsible for regulating alcohol labeling. So whether it's Electra, Peace Sells, or something completely new, each label goes through a rigorous approval process before it ever reaches the shelf. Some names have tested the limits. Take Holy War, for instance. When we first released it, we honestly weren't sure it would get through, Dave said. It's an intense name, no question. But surprisingly, it passed without issue. That moment, for Dave, felt emblematic of his life, pushing boundaries, crossing lines, but always finding a way back. That's kind of been the story of my career, he reflected. Walking that fine edge and learning from it. When asked about his favorite Megadeth song, Dave doesn't hesitate, Train of Consequences. But for him, it's not just about the music, it's about the moment it represents. He vividly remembers the day he premiered the video. At the time, he was working as an assistant to the news director at WWTV Channel 9, a no-nonsense hard news station. But at the very end of each broadcast, he had a sliver of creative freedom, a brief slot to showcase music videos. The day he aired Train of Consequences, he paired it with a news story about abandoned babies, left hanging on coat hangers. The juxtaposition was jarring and sparked immediate backlash. People weren't ready for that, Dave said. It stirred up a lot of controversy. Still, he doesn't regret it. Part of me was proud, he admitted. Because I got to say, I world premiered that video. I gave it a voice. That song came off the Euthanasia album, which, incredibly, is about to turn 30. The album had a very distinct emotional and visual concept. At the time, the band was working with visual artist Syed to create artwork that resonated with the public mood. It was a moment in history when the world was closely watching Dr. Jack Kevorkian and grappling with questions around assisted suicide. That national debate about suffering, control, and the right to choose deeply influenced the themes Dave was exploring on the record. Having faced cancer myself, I've seen suffering up close. When something like that resides inside you, it changes everything. It rewires your brain, your soul, it shifts your perspective. I've been in remission for 5 years now, but I don't take that lightly. I take care of myself, follow my doctor's advice, and work hard to stay healthy. I've witnessed what happens when men my age give up, they stop caring. Their bodies fall apart, they gain weight, lose hair, and become a shell of who they were. But I've held on. I've fought through it, and thankfully, Pam has been by my side through it all. When it comes to favorite Megadeth songs, Pam doesn't really have one standout. She leans toward trust, she loves the melody. For me, it's songs like My Children. Some songs you feel closer to, some are harder to connect with, but you don't pick favorites. Each one taught me something, and I can say this, a good song knows when it's finished. Some writers stop too early, others don't know when to quit. Recognizing that sweet moment, the moment it's complete and perfect, that's an art in itself, a rarity. People often credit Metallica for blending metal with symphonic elements, and yes, they've performed with full orchestras. But let's be honest, that's not as big of a creative leap as people think. It's more of an enhancement for live performances. What I was doing back then went much deeper. I wasn't just putting metal on top of violins, I was trying to meld the genres at their core, fuse them into one unified voice, create something entirely new. Pam never sought the spotlight. She's the quiet strength in our family. She's more about the business side, the strategy, the structure, the vision. While Elektra and I take the stage, Pam, along with our other child, Justice, works tirelessly behind the scenes. They're the ones who make sure everything stays on track, ensuring nothing falls apart. Elektra had her own music career, and she's incredibly talented, truly gifted. But over time, her heart shifted. She found herself drawn to something completely unexpected, wine. It wasn't planned. She didn't grow up dreaming of being a vintner, but she always says, I never expected to end up in wine. And yet, something about it spoke to her on a deep, soul level. There's honesty in agriculture, something raw and real about it. Grapes don't lie, they don't hustle or backstab you. They either grow, or they don't. Surrounded by the soil, the sun, and the changing seasons in the vineyards, Elektra found a part of herself. Having grown up riding horses, she always felt at home in wide open spaces. Nature, in its purest form, has a way of healing you if you're open to it. In wine, Elektra didn't just find a business, she found peace and a deeper connection with herself. Elektra wasn't selling a product anymore. She wasn't being marketed or pushed as an item. Instead, she had a product she truly believed in, a creation she nurtured like it was her own child. Initially, selling wine didn't come naturally to her, but the music business had toughened her up enough. She knew what rejection felt like and had learned how to move past it. So now, when someone turns her down, she simply shrugs it off. If you love something, she says, you're not selling it, you're sharing your passion. That shift in mindset changed everything for her. Wine, she learned, is unpredictable, and that's exactly what makes it beautiful. Unlike beer, which follows a strict recipe, wine is alive. Every harvest brings something new, every bottle carries the fingerprint of the land, the weather, and the year. Elektra studied hard and became a certified sommelier. When she finished the course, she turned to me and said, I thought I knew a lot, but it turns out I barely scratched the surface. That's the thing about wine, the more you learn, the deeper you realize the world goes. Our journey took us to Italy, just 2 women, Elektra and Pam, navigating an unfamiliar world. It was raw and real. We stayed in hotels with chains across the doors, ended up in dried lake beds, and drove through medieval towns where the roads weren't even wide enough for cars. Everything felt like a challenge. The car didn't fit, the wine barrels weren't ready, and nothing went smoothly. It was chaotic, like living inside a reality show. But that's the cost of building something new from scratch, in a place you barely understand.